Some of these women come to you and they say, you know what, I think I'm going to stop working because they think that getting a babysitter is taboo. And that's when you intercede and say, actually, I would lobby that you get a babysitter because I want you to think of this as an investment in your career. How hard is it going to be for you to come back in?
Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, a lot of people don't understand that concept, but a lot of people are saying, well, all the money that I'm making right now, I'm going to give towards a babysitter. So it's just cheaper for me to stay at home at this moment and take care of the kids. And I always say to them, think about what your value might be worth in terms of a salary 5 years from now if you actually stay in it. So it might be worth it for you to invest in getting help for yourself. And a few years from now, you can accept a raise or you can accept a promotion or whatever it is, and you'll be in a different position. So, because that is one of the things, is that 10 years later, you know, if you do want to come back into the workforce, a lot of I would say over 50% of my business school class decided to opt out. That is that opt-out generation. And it is okay if that's really what you want to do. But if you feel like you don't have a choice, I think you need to think about are there other support structures that can help you and give you that choice to continue doing what it is. And that means sometimes investing money that you're making and it's just coming in and going straight out. But think about what will that be like a few years from now.
I was very conscious, even before I got pregnant, you know, how I wanted to do this because of how the things I wanted done differently from my childhood. And so, you know, we had decided we wanted to be hands-on, so we got live-in help. We made choices that we felt like we could be there as much as possible. And, you know, so I would say, yeah, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, you know who you are, know what's important to you, and then create that, you know, create the kind of help that works for you. If it's live in, if it's live out, if it's, you know, a daycare center, whatever. And don't be afraid to be specific and give direction. You know, every time I hired anyone or trialed anyone, I never left the room for weeks, you know, until I know, and I would look for cues for my son. Does he like to go to her? I was very specific with what to feed him. I don't think, and I think that naturally comes out when you have your kids. You just kind of know. You're not afraid. Like, that's the wonderful thing I got from motherhood, is the things I was afraid for. I walk right in and I tell the teacher, this is what he needs, or this, you know, you advocate for your kids. So think about right now, you know, you have the gift right now before baby comes, right? Think about exactly what you want and start to plan that, and trust your gut and know that if it feels good to you, it's right.
I mean, for me, I think all of that is true. And I'm at a stage right now where I thought what I wanted and how I was setting everything up isn't necessarily working out the way I thought it should, or the way that I thought it would. And so I'm at a point where I'm thinking about how do I change that? I have to change it because it's not having the effect that I want. So, you know, I actually thought that I wanted it to be very different than how I grew up, or whatever it may be. So I was like, I'm going to be very involved in the child's life in every aspect. And what's interesting is with my 4-year-old, I feel like, I don't know if this is actually working very well for him, because I'm very involved and I'm in everything, that I don't know if he's as resourceful as I was at that age, because, you know, mommy's always kind of there to give an answer or help him, or someone else is there to kind of give an answer, whereas I was kind of left alone a little bit to figure things out. And so there was other characteristics that I have that came from my childhood, and there are certain things that I didn't like about my childhood, but there are certain characteristics that came out of it. And I said, wow, like, I don't see that in him, and is it because of this other thing? And so I'm questioning it, and I'm questioning this whole process for myself right now, so I feel like I don't have an answer. But I think it's whatever it is that you can be direct about it and talk to whoever your caretaker is. And it's okay if it doesn't go exactly the way you thought it should, and as long as you have a communication system back.